Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next data set. So connect to the SQLite database and pull the data out of the salaries table. And then we cleaned the jobs data. And so what we ended up with is just two columns, total paid benefits and job title. And then let's look at total paid benefits. This looks okay. And job title, that looks okay. But this time let's do it just a little bit differently because I wanted to show you a couple of things here. So you'll notice that some of the job titles had not provided in them, and I'm explicitly filtering those out. But the other approach here is dealing with NA values, and I want to show you that. So I'm going to just go to the top again and look at the import. So for this next bit, I actually need one thing out of the NumPy package. And NumPy is dealing with arrays and array manipulation, and Pandas is built on top of NumPy. And usually you can do what you need directly through Pandas, but there's a few things on NumPy that you need sometimes. So I wanted to make sure that was imported. Now, here, I'm going to go ahead and just look at DF again. So let me go ahead and add a cell, and let's look at DF. Should be the original data. Selected is DF subtotal paid benefits and job title. And then this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace not provided with a NA value. So in order to do that, I want to use the selected subjob title to pull out that column. And then I'm going to use the replace method on columns. And then I can give it a dictionary with the original value, which is not provided. And then the value I want to replace it with, which is going to be the numpy dot not a number value. And then if I execute that, what you see is that instead of not provided, there's not a number constants here instead. And then once I've done that, I can drop any rows that have NA in them using, and actually this does not make that change in place. So if I execute selected again, I see I still have the original values here. This just returns a copy of the data of the column with the correct values in there. Some of these have an in place argument. So for some of these, you can say in place equals true, but unfortunately replace doesn't. So what you want to do is the same thing as we did before, which is either add a new column to the data frame or say selected square bracket job title is equal to that. So this is going to replace the original values with the new values. So it's giving me a warning because I'm not actually dealing with the raw data here. I'm dealing with something called a slice of the raw data. And so it's giving me some warnings about that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually go up and do this. And it doesn't like this because I'm not working with the original data. I'm working with just a so-called slice that only includes two of the columns in it. So what I'm going to do instead of applying this to selected, I'm going to do this first. So I'm going to do this to the original data frame. And then I'm going to take the slice. And that works fine. So here I have the two columns I want, and I have not a number values. So now that I've fixed NA in the job title column, I can also do the same thing with these zeros in total pay benefits. So total pay benefits doesn't mean they actually get paid $0. It really means the data is missing. So let's do df sub total pay benefits is df sub total pay benefits dot replace, and this time in the dictionary I'm going to use 0.0 and replace that with not a number. And then, so those are gone now. And I got a little skip there, but so now I have not a number in the total pay benefits column and not a number in job title. Now, if I don't want the rows that have not a number in it, after I've done selected, I can do selected dot drop NA, and that will drop the rows, all the rows that have NA values in them. So now, before, without the drop NA, let's look at selected. So without drop NA, there's 1, 4, 8, 6, 5, 4 rows. And with drop NA, 1, 4, 8, 6, 2, 4. So I think we lost about 30 rows there. Now, just like replace, if I look at selected now, I still have the NA values here because once again, drop NA returns a copy of the data, doesn't actually modify the data frame. I think this one actually does have the in-place parameter though. So let's go ahead and try that. Oh, so it does have in place, but I'm getting a warning that a value is trying to be set on a copy of a slice from a data frame. So basically it's warning me that I'm modifying the underlying data, and that may not actually be what I want. It is, but instead of that, I might actually just do filtered equals selected dot drop NA and then look at filtered. Oh, and let me get rid of the in place is true. Okay, so I could have done the other thing and just use selected, but I'm going to go ahead and do this instead.